We'll be right back to Jesus and Pals after this.
Hey, do you need to get in shape fast? Want to look your best? Tired of the other guys getting all the chicks? Are you tired of being a
level 90
weakling?
Yeah, I only win
level 90.
So I'm sure now you're probably level 90 and you're wondering, what the hell am I gonna do? How do I stop dying to shit? How do I win fights? Well, there's a number of things you can do. It's recommended that you try to do the seasonal events as they appear. The Halloween event in particular has a weapon that gives you a 25% move speed bonus. The summer event adds a headpiece that adds 12% movement bonus. The summer event also has a couple of really nice rings that are useful for many levels. Copper vouchers are rewards from doing dungeons or occasionally giving out during events. For example, the Easter Burning Circle Notorious monster fight at Leaf will give you 2. You're going to want to head over to the library, convert the vouchers at the bestiary. These vouchers will give you a variety of different currencies that you're going to want to use or hold on to for many different reasons. One of the main things you're going to want to end up doing as you get to 90 is you're going to want to start doing dungeons. What are dungeons? Dungeons are essentially little tiny challenges where you're up against a certain number of enemies and a certain number of bosses. By defeating the bosses, you will be gaining Mog Pals. Inside you can also find chests which give you various items. Now, if you want to do dungeons, you will need to be augmented. They are not easy, but these pals will give you access to some of the best augments you can have at any level. Dyg also compiled a list of every single dungeon augment, which can be found on his Google Doc spreadsheet. There is a level 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 75, and 90 dungeon. You will need to beat them in order to unlock the next one in the list, starting at 30. This one's pretty simple, just get to rank 6 in your nation, that's all. By getting to rank 6 you have access to everything on the perk NPCs, and you can go to rank 10 if you want. Chains of Promathia 8.1 is going to be required for you to get to sea access. Chains of Promathia is required for some of the endgame augments and access to Hachirin no Obi and the various weapon skill gorges. These are very useful pieces of gear, and you're going to want to get to at least chapter 8.1 in order to access them. You can fully complete the Rise of Zilid expansion and the Chains of Promathia expansion. There is no Apocalypse 9 quest. Treasures of Vat Ergon is kinda weird, but you can kind of finish the final mission, but you might require some GM assistance to get through it. Salts. Salts don't work, man. The Wings of the Goddess has pretty much nothing for the most part, except for Scholar, Dancer, Unlocking. The other expansions don't even bother, they don't work. And the requirements to get all 5 Augment Chests. Chest 1 requires 5 Beastman Seal to Garuda and must be at or above level 10. Chest 2 requires 12 crystal clusters to Shiva, and you're at or above level 20. And Chest 1 is unlocked. Chest 3 requires 30 Yagudo necklaces to Ramen, at or above level 40, rank 3 or greater, and Chest 2 is unlocked. Chest 4 requires 25 kindred seals to Ramen, at or above level 40, rank 3 or greater, and Chest 3 unlocked. Chest 5 requires 10 beastman seals, 10 kindred seals, 10 kindred crests, and 10 high kindred crests to Alexander, at or above level 70, rank 6 or greater, with Chest 4 unlocked. This is the main reason why you want to be at least rank 6. Just a quick little reminder, these augments are locked behind gear level. This is why I recommend that you only ever use the highest tier augment chest. Okay, so all crafts on this server can be brought up to level 110. There are some crafts that are customized here for various level 81 plus gear. This is most notable for rings, earrings, and capes, because there's not a lot of 81 plus of those. So here, I'm just gonna plug the guide that I wrote to getting everything to 110, because it was written based mostly on the guild shops. So, it's also fairly cheap. And you will actually need key items from some of the guilds if you choose to make Aptant gear for style lock or for use later on. 99 Alexandrite may seem like a bit of a crazy thing, but you get Treasure Hunter +1. You might want to look into it. It is also possible to have a set of Treasure Hunter 10 from gear that can be used across all jobs. This is what I like to call the Universal Treasure Hunter set, and I recommend making one if you intend to farm things. Of course, more is always better, but this is something that can be used on any job, making it incredibly useful to anyone. The gear is as follows: Zealous Tiara from Pantocrator in Abyssea Legoron, Noetic Torque from Tusker Trap in Abyssea Misero, Elemental Sachet, and any will do as they're all level 90. Phrygian Earring for each ear is a custom craft which requires 91 goldsmithing. Various Elemental Soul Rings for each ring, which is another 94 goldsmithing sync, although getting the gems to make these are going to be quite difficult. There are a very limited range of rings from Abyssea, so these rings are a plentiful alternative. Race-specific gloves. These are the various level 87 race-specific gauges that you can find from Abyssea. Anemic Aloysius for the Haven Hose, Sanctuary Obi, which is a 70 Clothcraft synth, and now you have your very own Treasure Hunter 10 set. Congratulations! For weapons, you pretty much just got 3 choices, really, collectively known as the REM Weapons. your Relic, Empyrean, or Mythic weapons. We all have Aeonics here. Mythics have the advantage of increased double attack, with Aftermath level 3 granting another bonus to double attack. Relics have their own specific Aftermath, along with occasional damage increases. Empyrean weapons can stack all 3 Aftermath, along with having really insane stats. In general, in order of weakest to the strongest, it goes Relic, Mythic, then Empyrean. Your end goal should be getting Empyrean weapons. Some weapons also have an innate TP bonus of 1000. In terms of armor, quite a few different sets. First is your Relic Armor. In order to get it to +2, you're going to first need to upgrade it to +1, the same way you would on retail through Secure. After that, you can get some forgotten items from the Dreamland Dynamis and trade it to the exchange NPC to get it to +2. You're going to need a Forgotten Thought for the head, Forgotten Hope for the body, Forgotten Touch for the hands, Forgotten Journey for the pants, and Forgotten Step for the shoes. The exchange NPC is going to require the +1 relic item, along with 25 of that respective forgotten item. So I made this guide for the Empyrean Armor. Just do me a favor. Read this little blurb at the beginning that tells you how to read the notation that I put in there. So basically all you gotta do is go to the guide, figure out what the hell that you want, and then go kill it. NMs and Abyssea are always up, and that guide is tailored directly to the drop rates for this server. Final Fantasy XI Wiki may not be accurate.
And whatever you do not touch the Akrobs.
In addition to those, we also have the Perle, Teal, and Aurore +1 sets. These will drop off the various hard mode sky gods. You can spawn them like fighting the normal gods, but you will have to trade an extra 10 Alexandrite to trigger the hard mode version. They also drop an assortment of other high level equipment that can be useful. Any notorious monsters are a bit of a unique system here. You can fight them for the various level 75 cap gear that they used to drop on retail, along with the ingredients to make the salvage armors. You only need the quote trophy unquote item from each tier to advance to the next. You don't need to do all 3 of them, but you can if you want. This is generally the only reliable way to get Cerberus hides and Cerberus claws in a timely fashion if you want that attack augment. That's on top of getting the coupons to upgrade your mythic weapons to 85 and to get magic crit rate and magic crit damage augments. The fights are really easy for anyone who's level 90. Every fight also drops a cotton coin purse for even more Alexandrite. When you get to the tier 3, I highly recommend you buy all 3 of them, so you can spawn 3 tier 4 bosses to maximize your coupon gain per set of materials. I strongly suggest that you make @PW slaves, unless you want to constantly run back and forth from every single spawn point. Just remember that Tinin needs to be fed Tifi until he spawns all 3 of his heads before you can kill him. There are a bunch of custom Notorious Monsters and Burning Circle Notorious Monsters here. You can find the list on the Valhalla wiki. The Throne Room is a custom Megalord fight. This dude's got about 45,000 HP. His rewards will include the various completed salvage headpieces, Dynamis currency, and a guaranteed 2 cotton coin purses and 1 linen coin purse for Alexandrite. If you're getting into the endgame, consider beating him as a starting point. If you can't, you suck. If you can, congratulations, you can begin. In the Shadow Reign era Throne Room, you can fight a super version of the Megalord. He has 2 50% chances to drop High Kindred Crests, along with some pretty unique gear, with the Cursed Belt being of particular interest. Sea Lion's Den also has 2 custom fights to get the Empyrean feet and the Empyrean pants. You take the coupon that you win from the fight and trade it to the bestiary in the library. Omega is generally considered the harder of the two because Pile Pitch is shit and Colossal Blow sucks. Omega also drops a guaranteed 2 Kindred Crests and Ultima drops a guaranteed 2 Kindred Seals. In the Lala Amphitheater, you can find a 75 capped fight versus Pandemonium Warden. Unfortunately, this fight is only capped at 1 hour, so there's not going to be no 16-hour bullshit. This drops the coupon needed for the final upgrade of the Mythic Weapon. You need to exchange the coupon that you get to the bestiary in the library for the blank 75 Mythic. You take that Mythic along with your 85 Mythic to the exchange NPC with the correct amount of gil to create your 90 Mythic. He also drops a guaranteed 2 Kindred Seals and 2 Kindred Crests. The custom Rasenjima Sanctorum has a custom fight we've called Beefcake the Dragon. It contains a great deal of level 90 gear that you're going to want, mainly the Twilight gear, which are very useful pieces for a lot of different classes. It is highly recommended that you have a strong tank and a healer for this fight if you're starting out, because he will wreck your shit. If you also trade 5 Alexandrites, which will not be taken from you, then you can fight the HQ version of Beefcake, known as Prime Rib. He was the original one. Prime Rib will drop Sacred Kindred Crests along with better chances at getting the various armors. You will learn to fear Meteor once again. In the Adeline Islands, you can fight a bunch of NPCs required to get you your Empyrean weapon. These fights include Sin, Mateus, Bahamut, Shinryu, and Odin. Once you defeat all these notorious monsters, you can unlock access to Dynamis Divergence for the final material to get that 90 Empyrean weapon. And finally we got the zone Lethalia. Use the command @leave to enter the zone for the various level cap dungeons for Mogpels. As stated earlier, Mogpels are going to be the catalyst to becoming the One Punch Man. The dungeon proprietor also holds entry to various event burning circle notorious monsters along with access to Dynamis Divergence and the Alexander Prime fight. You will pretty much be living here for the rest of your life if you get into endgame at all. Mogpels are love. Mogpels are life. Alright, so chillin', maybe you're bored, you go to a restaurant bar at night and you see this fucking giant Odin out of nowhere. Well, this dude's got about 100,000 HP, and he'll drop the completed salvage pants along with Dynamis currency and 2 linen coin purses. He only shows up at night, so go during the day, you'll never see him. So you want some extra coupons, maybe you want an XP rank, so you can go, hey, I'm gonna go to Eshazita and fight Azi Dahaka. Well, this dude comes with a harem of bony dragons, and he loves to reset hate very often. He respawns every day, and can be used to fast track your way to getting Empyrean coupons for the 90 upgrade. Pro tip, he's susceptible to status effects. And I mean the good kinds. So he has quite a few different augments you can access, most notably the weapon skill damage plus 3%. It is a massive grind to get these augments, but they are very much worth every single minute you spend getting them. In addition, you will get a lot of clusters here. So if you want to make some extra gil, sell those clusters, well, you get the devious die. You will need a lot of organs. You can also get the high quality organs for the Chains of Promathia rings, because you can have all three of them here. Limbus also gives you access to Omega for the final piece to make that haste plus 10% augment, even though it's actually 5% gear haste and 1% magic and 1% ability haste. You can also find emerald chips and ancient beast coins for the all stats plus 2 augment, and various plus 3 skill augments from the artifact armor drops. You can also get the weapon skill gorgets, which add a 1000 TP bonus, which applies to every gorget. Yes, you heard that right. 1000 TP bonus. Get those things, get them. There are enough that you can get one for every single stat. There's also the Hachirin no Obi for mages, so you can help force a day in weather bonus for your spells. In addition to gaining 10,000 currency for augments, you can also find Relic Armors here. Remember, you can upgrade the Relic Armors to plus 2, and those pieces of gear are above level 81. You could also do the Relic Weapon class if you feel like it, but you can just buy it, so what? Dynamis Juno is largely considered the main currency farming location. The Treasure Hunter augments and Black Mage, as I stated earlier, you can roll up in there and just farm the hell out of it. In about 4 minutes you can get roughly 40 to 50 of each 100 mil, which you're going to want if you want double or triple attack augments for your gear. The Dreamlands version of Dynamis hold the -1 armors, which are needed to upgrade the Relic Armor to +1. Dreamlands also hold the forgotten items needed to upgrade the Relic Armor to +2. Lastly, there's a hunt for each of the main city bosses for extra goodies at the hunt board. I recommend using Nihilus's Guide to Darkstar Private's Dynamis, because it's kinda weird here. On top of normal Dynamis, we have access to Dynamis Divergence, which is going to be needed for the final Empyrean weapon upgrade. Quick point, the enemies inside hit very hard. Either you don't suck or you get a good tank. That's just the way it is. Fact of life, man. And it's the only reasonable place to get heavy metal. To get a lot of heavy metal.
Abyssea in general is just pretty much a good place all around. You do not need to proc lights in order to kill the NMs, and the NMs pretty much are always up. Some NMs do not exist here. Altepa has some great gear for melee damage dealers, and some of the lower Abyssea zones are pretty great for getting rare crafting materials. It's also an excellent place for merits, as the spawn times are pretty much minimized. The different zones have different level caps for the regular enemies that you'll find. The area is pretty good from 70 all the way up to 90 and even beyond when you start meriting.
Once you get a job to level 50, you're going to want to talk to Oda, because there are certain jobs that give you extra abilities and passives. Provoke is pretty much you're going to want. Healing Waltz is incredibly handy. Rampart is without a doubt the best thing since sliced bread. Sublimation's pretty shit, considering you got the 5-hour refresh from melon juice.
Flee for when you want to run away from things. And we have Meditate.
It's also worth noting that the Treasure Hunter trait from Odin stacks with Treasure Hunter from Southern Thief, and your gear, meaning with the Universal Treasure Hunter 10 set and Sub Thief and the trait, you can get up to Treasure Hunter 13 for every class. Only 11 if you choose not to Sub Thief, which you probably won't want to anyways. These are some of the easiest things to get, and they stay useful forever. But how do I get the guild to pay for it all? Yeah, just rob a bank. That's what I do. Jokes aside, there's really nothing easy to say here. I would recommend grinding scrolls off enemies, like Sea Serpent Grotto. You could just get etudes, sell them with the @shop command. Obviously, you're going to want to have a good amount of treasure hunter. You can just go to Beastman's stronghold like Devois and then kill a bunch and sell all the armors that they drop. And that's good, I guess, right? Although normally I find myself doing Dynamis runs because they drop around 1,000 gil just by killing them. In addition for the absolute shitload of infinity cores that you get, which NPC for around 1,300. So, you know, you make money while you're making bills. So, and I guess probably crafting, but I'll be honest, I never really looked for money since the money just keeps kind of rolling in as you do more things and kill stuff. So you probably have to ask around, maybe somebody will tell you, because I honestly don't know. Sorry, dude. Because, you know, the fourth and most prominent way is just skill shot. Seriously. Every enemy drops skill. Just getting the 40 merits will net you around like 200-300,000 gil.
Fifth, repeatable quests. These all give increased skill rewards than on retail. Stuff like Batwings will get a profit even if you buy them from the auction house. Not much, but it'll do in a pinch. And finally, but certainly not the least, running dungeons. The solo dungeon, or Dynamis Divergence, which all can be found inside of @Leaf. These will all net you quite a lot of gil, along with the other things that you'd want to do those for.
And of course, there are login points. Just for logging in, you can use these points at the login point NPC in the library, which can resets at 12 midnight Central Standard Time. The main reason you're going to want to use these is to get your Zealous Orbs for Fast Castles 4 augments, as opposed to grinding out 30 High Kindred Crests, which takes 5 days to get one of those. Of course, there's a bunch of different NM spawn items that you can find here, like the one for King Behemoth if you want the D. Everybody wants the D. And then there's mounts. And lastly, one of the final things you can do, the true endgame of the server, Aptant NMs. These are a bunch of unique NMs that drop ingredients to make the more unique colored synergy armors. The crafts are customized here and they come from a variety of different endgame events. Do be aware that these NMs are some of the most dangerous in the game. That Scorpion in Ottawa Chasm has ridiculous stun rate, for example.
Thank you for watching if you managed to get this far into the video. I hope you managed to catch all the little things I put in this video, and I hope this helps you become your very own beefcake. Let me know what you thought about the video, and if it actually helped you in some way, because you are a stud muffin. Take care, everybody.